We are safe here.
We have a hold. Must we go to war again?
Trust me, my son.
Imagine a world untouched by evil, pure, serene, and filled with light. But within this paradise, a spark of envy flickered, growing into a raging fire. This was no ordinary jealousy. This was the beginning of Morgoth, Middle-earth's first Dark Lord, the original force of corruption that would haunt its lands for ages. He was once the most powerful of the Valar, created by Eru Ilúvatar himself, but power turned to pride, and pride to rebellion. Before we dive into Morgoth's sinister tale, don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more epic stories from the world of Middle-earth. Every click fuels our journey into Tolkien's universe. Now, let's explore how Morgoth became a shadow over Middle-earth and how his fall led to Sauron's rise. Now, let's explore how Morgoth became a shadow over Middle-earth and how his fall led to Sauron's rise. The Origins of Morgoth. Long before Middle-earth's creation, there existed a realm of pure spirits known as the Ainur. Among them, Melkor stood as the mightiest and most radiant of Eru Ilúvatar's creations, a being with gifts that far surpassed those of the other Valar. His strength, wisdom, and creativity were unmatched, and with them came an ambition as vast as the cosmos. But Melkor's hunger went beyond his purpose. He yearned for dominion over all creation, not as a servant, but as a master. This desire took root, growing into a darkness that distanced him from his kin. While the Ainur united in harmony with Ilúvatar's grand design, Melkor wove his own melody, one of discord and rebellion. His notes clashed, disrupting the music of the Ainur, marking the first act of defiance against Eru's will. As Melkor's darkness grew, so did his transformation. He shed the light that once defined him, embracing a path that would ultimately turn him into Morgoth, the first Dark Lord of Middle-earth. From that moment on, Morgoth became the embodiment of corruption, the shadow from which all evil would descend. Morgoth descends to Middle-earth. When Middle-earth was newly formed, a land fresh with beauty and innocence, Morgoth saw his opportunity. He descended upon these untouched lands, intent on bending them to his own twisted will. With no other Valar initially present to oppose him, Morgoth claimed the world as his dominion. He carved vast fortresses into the earth, such as Angband, where darkness would thrive. Deep within these strongholds, he forged weapons, bred monstrous creatures, and prepared armies of terror. But Morgoth's reach went beyond mere physical conquest. He sought to corrupt the very spirits of Middle-earth's inhabitants. His influence infected hearts and minds, spreading hatred, jealousy, and fear. His malice grew so strong that it eventually attracted the attention of the other Valar, particularly Manwë, his brother in spirit and rival in will. Conflict ensued, a battle not just of strength, but of ideals. Despite the Valar's resistance, Morgoth's darkness took root. His ambition was unyielding. He would stop at nothing until all of Middle-earth lay chained beneath his iron fist, the creation of dark creatures. Morgoth's legacy of terror reached its height with the creation of creatures that would haunt Middle-earth for ages. Among his earliest twisted inventions were the Orcs, who had once been fair elves. Morgoth captured these innocent beings, warping their forms and spirits through endless torture. The result was a grotesque race, mirroring his own hatred for beauty and light. Orcs became his loyal but tortured soldiers.
Until we've made certain Sauron is no more.
As you will it, Lord Father.
Mindlessly obedient to his dark will. Under his shadow, he also created trolls. These massive, brutish creatures were shaped in mockery of the mighty Ents, guardians of the forests, yet were devoid of wisdom and compassion. Morgoth sought to instill terror with these monstrous beings, but his ambition didn't stop there. Harnessing fire and shadows, he created dragons, vast, deadly creatures that would reduce entire armies and cities to ruin. With their fiery breath and near impenetrable scales, dragons became the ultimate weapons in Morgoth's arsenal, spreading dread wherever they went. Each creature he spawned was more than a soldier. They were living symbols of his wrath, bearing his hatred for all things beautiful and free. The corruption of Sauron. Among all of Morgoth's servants, none would prove as cunning or devoted as Sauron, who would eventually rise to carry his master's dark torch.
Sauron devoted himself to healing.
Sauron was originally a Mire spirit of considerable talent, once loyal to Aule, the smith of the Valar, whose craftsmanship he admired and emulated. But the allure of power that Morgoth offered was too great to resist. Drawn by the promise of dominion and mastery, Sauron turned his back on Aule and aligned himself with the Dark Lord. Under Morgoth's tutelage, Sauron honed his skills in manipulation, cruelty, and the use of fear as a weapon. Morgoth recognized Sauron's potential, seeing in him a kindred spirit capable of extending his dark influence. Though Morgoth ruled through brute strength and violence, Sauron took a subtler approach, favoring deception, sorcery, and mind games. Together, they wove a web of terror across Middle-earth, ensnaring the hearts of many. When Morgoth was ultimately defeated and cast into the void, his mantle of darkness passed to Sauron. With his master gone, Sauron inherited Morgoth's ambition, vowing to complete his work and bend Middle-earth to his will. His relentless drive for power would ensure that Morgoth's legacy of evil continued to haunt the world, forging a new chapter of darkness. The Great Wars of Beleriand. Morgoth's unyielding quest to dominate Middle-earth ignited the Great Wars of Beleriand, a series of battles that would scar the world for centuries. Heroes from across the lands rose to challenge his rule, rallying armies of elves and men in a desperate struggle against his ever-growing forces. Morgoth unleashed waves of his monstrous legions, covering the land in orcs, trolls, and other twisted creatures. From the skies, his dragons rained fire, scorching villages, forests, and fortresses alike. Despite their bravery, the free peoples of Middle-earth paid a heavy price, as kingdoms were razed and countless lives were lost. The wars waged for centuries, but Morgoth's hunger for power remained unquenched. Eventually, the Valar were moved to action. They sent an army to Middle-earth, leading to the legendary War of Wrath, a conflict so fierce it shattered mountains and reshaped the lands. In the final cataclysmic clash, Morgoth's forces were decimated, his fortresses reduced to rubble. With no hope of escape, Morgoth himself was captured and cast into the void, exiled beyond the reaches of the world he had sought to conquer. His dark reign had ended, but the scars of his tyranny would remain for ages to come. The lingering shadow of Morgoth. Though Morgoth was cast into the void, his dark influence did not vanish with him. His defeat marked the end of his physical reign, but his shadow continued to linger over Middle-earth, like a poison in the land itself. The devastation he left behind became a haunting reminder of his malice, a scar upon the earth that would never fully heal. Barren wastelands, ruined fortresses, and darkened caverns were scattered throughout the land, silent testaments to his tyranny. From this lingering darkness, Sauron would rise, drawing power and inspiration from the chaos Morgoth left in his wake. The creatures Morgoth had twisted continued to lurk in hidden corners, and his hateful spirit seemed to whisper in the minds of the power-hungry. Morgoth's influence lived on, not through his presence, but through his corrupting legacy. His hatred, envy, and insatiable ambition sowed seeds of despair and greed, ensuring that Middle-earth would feel the echoes of his wrath for generations. Even in his absence, Morgoth's shadow would haunt Middle-earth, waiting patiently in the darkness. Even after Morgoth was cast into the void, his shadow remained, a reminder that true darkness is rarely fully vanquished. His malice seeped into the very fabric of Middle-earth, warping both land and spirit. With each act of betrayal or lust for power, his influence quietly resurfaced. a reminder that Morgoth's darkness, once awakened, could never be completely silenced. Legacy and influence of Morgoth. Morgoth was more than just a Dark Lord. He was the first darkness, the original force of evil in Middle-earth. His fall led to a ripple of corruption that would haunt the world for ages, giving rise to Sauron and many other evils. If you found Morgoth's story captivating, let us know in the comments. Do you think his shadow truly faded, or is it still echoing through Middle-earth? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into Tolkien's world. We have more dark tales and legendary stories on the way. Join us as we explore every corner of Middle-earth's history. Thanks for watching.